Hey, hey! My name is Crunk Chocolate, and welcome to End of Season Report, part of Shades of Blue podcast, content season, streaming live on FanFest. Hi, hello. And then shout out to all of our Patreonies watching with us. It is the off season, which means we can all relax a little bit on the tribalism. Here I am asking some of my favorite people about the clubs in the Premier League or Women's Super League. Today, we talk the villains, which honestly is such a cool name.
Right.
I like
the tagline. All of your heroes, some heroes are villains, is just like,
that's nice. That's
injected
nice.
into my veins.
And I know I say I can back off on the tribalism. I've had multiple people in social media be sassy, being like, why are you having conversations with other clubs about their seasons? It couldn't be me. And it's like, well, yeah, that's why you don't have a bloody podcast. That's why you're not out here doing this and having these conversations. To just be like only in my city bubble all the time, that's so boring. Like there's only so much you can do. And, even when you're in the same circles for so long, you start getting annoyed by people. I love the summer and chatting with everybody and getting caught up because you get kind of lost in your own team stuff and you can pay attention here and there. But I love doing EOSR, yes, to be able to like get caught up in the holes in what I'm seeing from other clubs that are being fulfilled and answered. And with that, I think we've only had you on maybe a lit stream, so we haven't really been able to chat football like this before. So super excited, Shady Gang. Welcome for the first time on this, but they've been here before. Recognize. Yeah. Give it up for Nati. How are you?
This is like the 6-month checkup now, pretty much, because the last time I was on was right before MLS started.
Oh yeah,
man. Like I was out on my first away day, like all that stuff.
Now, yes, let's go.
Premier League is over. Like I'm all jaded, and it's fine. Like, we're doing great.
Oh yeah. That we love the end of the season was crazy.
Listen, there's never an off season for people like us because we just have way too many allegiances to different sports and different teams, even within soccer. But it's always fun to kind of take a break from the EPL and just get back to local, like other leagues and just talk whatever. But this has been a very interesting off season so far. And I'm sure you'll agree with me on that, even though you're hated amongst most Villa fans. Not just you, just Man City in general.
Oh no, that's fine. No. Trust me, I know. We take big honor in people basically feeling a way about my club always. But as long as people like me, that's all I like. Hate my club all you want, but I'm here, just doing my part, trying to participate in the community. We're all good.
Yeah, and like you said before, listen, there's always so much that goes behind knowing your own team, but I do think that unless you play fantasy or something else, it's very easy to just stay focused on your own team when there's so many other things happening around the league that could affect your team. And so I'm sure you're doing your homework and you're learning a lot about other teams and everything, which is great. But in the end of the day, it also benefits you. And it's great to talk shop. Teams will trade and whatever, and so it's always good to know where people are going. And yeah, I mean it's a fun time, and the better you know your enemy, the better.
Exactly. And so the way that this will work, if this is your first time watching, is there are 5 categories: kits, which we talk about the home, away, and third; manager, squad, supporters, and front office. Our guest will grade each category A through F. Feel free to use pluses or minuses, and we'll just kind of talk our way through each category. And so
Is there
let's.
a mythical S tier that's allowed at any point,
Ooh.
or
I
I'm
mean,
just
if you have it, if you
okay? All right, that's fair.
if you feel moved,
If
go
I
for
feel moved by the spirit, I'll let you know.
it. Oh yeah, so okay, kits. I mean, Villa is like what most clubs where they have it has to have these colors.
Hmm.
Basically, can only be like this. It becomes very tough to get wild and creative with your kits.
Yeah.
And they're kind of run of the mill. I will admit, I actually like the third. The third's nice, but
Yeah.
the
So
home we can start
here's
with.
what I'll say. Here's what
Yeah,
I'll
go
say.
for it. Ooh,
This is the first season that Villa has had a deal with Adidas. And so before this, it was, I believe, Castore, and those kits were out. Like I have one, and like they're skin tight. Like they're honestly pretty nice. Like I like them, but like the players complained about them, like they just got torn very easily. It was like a different material. And so this season, Adidas took over for the first time. And so as far as like my overall grade for the kits in general for all three, I'm gonna go with like a solid like B plus. And that is mostly because they took like Adidas kind of made this season like the baseline for the
Yeah,
kits
that's
going
fair.
forward. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the cornerstone kit for like what Adidas is going to be doing with the team going forward. And so the next like there have been some leaks already of next season's kits. They follow a very similar template, but like you can kind of see that now they're going a little bit outside of the
Being a
box.
little adventurous. Okay.
Yeah, and so I loved this season's, like obviously the home kit is pretty standard Adidas gorgeous. The material's nice, the stripes look great, it's clean. The little AV50 on the back is really nice because they're celebrating like the 50th anniversary of like whatever, or 150, sorry, 150, I think. But it has like little filigree on it. And next season, they're saying it's rumored that the sleeves are going to have a cuff of like yellow, like gold filigree, which is actually really cool looking. I highly recommend looking up some of these leaks. But like home kit, pretty great. Away kit is the white kit, standard Adidas white kit. And then the third, honestly, the blue hoops, I also very much enjoyed. Like the navy, like that dark blue with the hoops. Anything like hoops or stripes, I'm automatically into. But it was a clean kit. They wore it to the Euros and everything. And honestly, I think they're pretty good. Like they're not bad. They're not anything exciting. So I'll give them a B.
Okay. Hey, and there are certainly worse grades you could give to them. B's good. I would be happy with the B.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, nothing stellar. Like, they have gone like crazy with it? Absolutely. Would I have gone like, would it be more divisive? Absolutely. Like you can never please English fans either. Like
That is
always
fair.
has something to say. You know what I mean?
Very fair.
But like, yeah.
Well, and you made a good point. First year with Adidas, you're not going to go crazy with your first year with them. You just want to show, hey, we can make a nice kit. We know what colors you guys want and need.
Yeah.
Now, can we go adventurous? Can we get adventurous? Yes, but
yeah. And like I said, they've started showing some of the stuff for next season. I think the away kit is actually a black like monochrome kit with like sleeves that kind of look like they have smoke on them, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, highly recommend looking these things up. If you like, we do some like intel for like other teams on like players and techniques, but like we need to start doing more intel on each other's kits because like those leaks are actually pretty cool. But yeah, like they'll get more adventurous. I have faith on that.
Well, good. All right. We'll keep it moving to manager Unai Emery. So I actually am a big fan of Unai. I've always been on the pod. I've said it many times. My show bros know it. Because I've said, if there's a manager out there that you need for like a one-off match to manage and coach and prepare a tactic for you to win that one match. He's one of the top managers out there that I think I would want, because he's going to set your team up for success no matter the formation, who you have on the players. He's going to be able to see where your strengths are and how to best succeed. And being in a team at Villa, he does better with kind of like the scrappy upstart type of teams. So the marriage with Aston Villa is almost perfect, because we saw it at the highest. They could really be world beaters and can do their thing.
Yeah. When they're on, they're on. Like
exactly.
When they're healthy and they have like the motivation and they have all of that stuff. Oh, someone's having trouble.
Yeah, Devin.
No. Okay. You want me to continue while you?
Yeah. No, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, like you saw it with this season. I think what Unai does also the best, just in terms of his coaching, like you said, he can coach single games and everything. But if you bring him someone who is like, oh my God, shut up, Devin. I'm going to slap this man. My God. But yeah, when you're talking Unai Emery, like he's the type of person that can take like he can make, like, you can give him like a piece of carbon and he'll make a diamond out of that player. You know what I mean? And a big indicator for that for me was, obviously it was a short-lived experiment. We don't know if he's going to stay with the team. But like when you saw Marcus Rashford come on for Villa, like people were really like questioning whether or not he was going to be able to play with a different team in that way. And like they would like obviously the social media hounding people for like pictures of Marcus Rashford at training. But like when you saw those pictures of him and like him kicking a ball around and like smiling and like having like some form of genuine like joy back from what he was doing versus what his mood was at Man U, like I'll take all the opportunities to like rag on Man U, obviously. But like that is like probably one of the clearest examples that I could see. And like you can also see it in other players who have been there longer, like Morgan Rogers, for example. Like kid came in and like was very much like he was a little bit rough around the edges, but as soon as like Unai kind of found his like niche and like unlocked whatever he needed to, like the sleeper cell, like word that awoke whatever beast was inside of him, like you see that like translated onto the pitch. And like Morgan Rogers, if we're looking for a bigger example, like Yuri Tielemans, that man is like the Villa right now. You know what I mean? Like that man was turned into a machine in the midfield by Unai Emery and like plays his strengths so well. And it led him pretty much to be the Iron Man of this season. So like, as far as Unai goes, like, sure, there were some shortcomings. I feel like, not getting into Europe this like at the end of the season was the biggest blow to our club. But like, we're going to go to the Europa League and hopefully win some hardware there and then come back stronger. But I think that would probably be the only thing that is saving me from giving him like an S tier. Because Unai, I believe, is like one of the big, like he's one of the best coaches in the world. Like you can put him up there with Conte with what he's done. Like, he got Napoli, like the Scudetto, like, other coaches who have just been like so prolific. Like they already put Unai Emery into a mural at like the new Villa store. You know what I mean? Like this man is part of Villa history already. And like there are so many songs that the lads sing and like people buy in 100%. And like, we were talking before about buy-in from like the coach and the teams, like in the locker room, and like that man has the buy-in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so I assume just an A then.
I'll give him an A+. I'll give him an A+. He's been consistent. He's kept Villa in the top competitive place since he's been with the club. He's made some great moves. He's bringing in some great talent, and I think he's really trusted not only by the players but also by like Monchi and like the other like GMs and stuff who are actually giving the man money to bring in people. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing entirely. Like people like they are invested in him and he is invested in the club. So
hell yeah. Okay.
Here's to you, Unai Emery, the Villa love you more than you will know. Yeah, like it's great. It's great. I love the man.
All right, well, we'll keep it moving. to the next subject. I keep forgetting to hit this next topic situation, which is the squad and squad. Yeah, I mean, a lot of players to like on this squad. A lot of players who might not have hit heights elsewhere, and what can Unai get out of them? Like you said with Morgan Rogers, he's a city football product, and they let him go because they weren't quite sure what to do with them, and he's kind of balled out. I know Yuri Tillemans, I'm a huge fan of him overall, but yeah, he's definitely seemed to step up a whole other level. I mean, your defense, you have just ballers all over with Ezri Konza and Paul Torres. And
Konza's an Iron Man. Yuri, I think, was the Iron Man this season. Like our defense has been a little wobbly here and there just because of injuries. But like by and large, like we felt it when Boubacar Kamara was not in. You know what I mean? Like he's also another like piece that I think we need to keep because we're going to keep building on people like him and like Yuri Tillemans, for example. I mean, transfer wise, like we had some pretty good loans this last season. I think we're looking to keep Marco Asensio. Like that was probably the most lucrative loan that we had out from PSG. Man did the fucking thing for us. I honestly love the way that he interacts with our like attacking force and everything. I will say there were some players that I thought like by the end of this season, like I'm pretty sure like come transfer window, like they're probably not going to be included next season. And so like as much as I like, and like I played fantasy for the first time this last season, and after the last year's season that Leon Bailey had, I was like convinced that that man was going to do the season again that he had last year this season. And like it transferred from like him to Yuri, and then like Yuri balled out, and like Leon Bailey has just kind of like become a husk of who he used to be, which like I hate to see because like I love the man, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be on his way out. He was very emotional during the last regular season game. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be that's an indicator of what's to come. People were saying that Emi Martinez might be out.
I was hearing that.
Which I feel a way about, but also like he didn't have such a stellar season this last go around, and so I think he could be better. I think all in all, I think the squad probably will also get like a solid B from me. There were some instances where I felt like they should have been turned on more, like during the Euros. There were some performances like the PSG game that I thought could have been done better. John McGinn is also getting on in years, as much as I love the man too, like fucking Scottish meatball of my dreams. The man plays with his ass. He does. That sounds weird. The man uses his ass a lot in games, and I love him for that.
That sounds just as weird.
Yeah, he's like.
I know what you mean. No, I know exactly what you mean. No, I know exactly. Yeah. Yaya Toure he did the same thing.
Yeah, like he uses every part of his body to like defend the ball, and like mostly he's got some cakes. Let's just leave it at that. But like he's also like he's our skipper, but you know, how long is he going to be our skipper for? You know what I mean? Like there's some ambiguity that's happening, and so that's why I'm also like probably gonna stick with the B grading for now. But do I think we're trending in a good way? Like, do we have some solid building blocks to go off of? And like, do I think there's going to be some really good moves made this offseason? Absolutely. I could see Leon Bailey leaving. I could see maybe they were saying that Jacob Ramsey might be getting some suitors, like other clubs that might want him. He's like a homegrown. He's like one of our like actual boys. And so like I would be sad to see him leave, but like he deserves more playing time. You know what I mean? Like there's some pieces that I can see going out and some people that I know are coming in. So I think next year it does leave a lot of optimism for me, honestly. So I'll stick with the B.
I know the talk is Aston Villa, they don't have the money, and
yeah, because of the loss of the Euro. standing, they have to like they have to comply with like the
Yeah.
salary caps and everything.
And
England.
and Leon Bailey's a good shout. It would be unfortunate to lose Jacob Ramsey. I am a fan of him, which I mean, I guess I understand. Yeah, I understand why he's not playing as much because brought in Onana, who's a beast, and Kamara. And
dude. Talk about man who like Belgians that love the Villa. Like, I'd have like 2 nickels for that, and like it's not a lot, but like it's weird that it's like happened twice already. Oh, sorry, and also no, Matson is Netherlands. Never mind. We have Malen and Matson from Netherlands as well. And so we have like Belgians and then we have Netherlands. And like those are like our 2, like that makes up our midfield essentially. But yeah, Amadou loves the Villa too. I can't wait to see what he does.
Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. Oh, good.
No.
I like him at Aston Villa. I would have to hate on him at Arsenal. Devin, you know the rules.
Morgan Rogers also loves the Villa. Like I think he's getting the playing time that he deserves. He's not going to be. He's honestly stayed very, very healthy despite being up in the attack a lot. And I feel like if he goes to somewhere like Arsenal, he's going to get broken very fast.
Very fast. Yeah. And they need to be figuring out that's their striker situation. Or no, did they get Gyökeres?
I don't know.
I think I'm pretty sure they went up because he had to choose between United and Arsenal. I think he chose Arsenal, which honestly is probably the better choice.
I mean, are we talking just in general or like?
Not yet. Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm speaking in general, just because like United is so much in the mud, and
yeah.
Talks are progressing. They've been progressing forever. Goodness gracious.
Progress these.
I honestly, I almost said something very similar to that. I'm not even gonna lie.
He's nuts. All right, I'll drink through that.
Nobody cares.
I'm gonna permaban you in a second if you keep going. I'll cheers.
Cheers. Well, okay, we'll move. Hold on. Let me. Who else on this squad? Honestly, I love that you have the Octoroon, Ross Barkley. Shout out to him.
Ross Barkley. Oh my God. Man literally scored like 1 goal in the Euros and then got hurt and was like, that's it. That's my time.
Hey, I got for a good time, not a long time.
Oh,
he's really there.
Before too. Like this was his second term with the Villa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's there for vibes, being in the league for as long as he has, a homegrown player. Like I understand why he's there. Yeah. He's
a good piece, honestly. I think he brings like I said, he loved it so much once that he decided to come back. Okay, great. Like, come back, do the work and, pick up where you left off and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I enjoy it. Ross Barkley is who James Milner thinks he is.
Yeah, he is him.
Yeah. Okay. That's well, right. Next topic is the supporters, and
very.
I don't. I if you're the representative for Aston Villa for me, I like them as people. I don't really have much beef with them. Obviously. But I think we might have some beef. Obviously, there's the comeback a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So like I'm eternally thankful to Aston Villa for that situation.
Oh yeah, for absolutely crapping on Arsenal every time they get the opportunity to.
And that too, yeah, man. Yeah. Like
that's like probably my favorite. I know Devin's in here, which is also why they gave us Unai, they gave us Emmy. Thank you. Like, I won't complain.
I know.
Yeah, no, but we were just speaking about Amadou and how he's kind of bought in. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Devin. Wait, y'all hear something? But yeah, I mean, like they're players who come in and they buy in, obviously, and a part of that is definitely because of the atmosphere of the experience at Villa Park. Like, Villa Park was one of those grounds in England that's just been there forever. They've actually just started doing some renovations and like putting in some new stuff into Villa Park. One of these, I've never been myself, but I really want to go across the pond and see a game at Villa Park. But the supporters in general are like a huge part, like the whole vendors and everything. Aside from always traveling and stuff, like they really find ways to engage with like the players and everything, like when they can. So like, for example, one of my favorite traditions that has come since Ama has joined the team has been like once we win, like after a game, he'll go up to the away support or like the Holt end or wherever he is, and he'll do a couple of like way, like kind of like a fist bump, and he'll do like 3 of them. Like but it's become his thing. You know what I mean? And like he feels the love, and he knows that the team, obviously the team supports him, but he knows that the fans also like love him, and like that, is part of that buy-in that they have. So like, the whole like, obviously like I love going to any type of game when I can. Like I did the summer series last year. Went to Philly to go see Villa Newcastle. I think that was last year. And like it was a great time to just like hang out with these people, and like they're one of the more vocal fan bases in the league. Like they always are singing, and like that's one of my favorite things about being a soccer supporter. So making a lot of fucking noise. But yeah, I mean, in general, I'm always a pretty like the Holt end, like the actual supporters of the Villa, they're pretty good people, like the Lions groups, like even the ones here in there's a very large supporters group here in New York, and they're always great. And so I'm always going to give the supporters an A, just because that, and also they have a lot of traditions that I love, like the songs and everything are fantastic. But one of my favorite songs that they do, that like it gives me like goosebumps every time I hear it. They do a song specifically for the fans that have passed on. So like they do like a thing, usually if you hear it, they go yippee-yi-yi, Holt Enders in the sky, and like that's just like the whole chant. But like they use the abbreviation for Holt Enders in the sky, which is heights, as an as a hashtag all the time. So if you ever see that posted by a Villa fan, it's because like they're either honoring someone who has passed on or whatever. And like the team, the front office, they always do like in memoriams, like that's a thing over in the EPL, I think more than here. But like the respect and like that sort of camaraderie that they have just like as a supporters group is just like very touching to see. A lot of times like you forget that not all of soccer is about being angry and screaming and whatever, but like but like they sing this every single game, and like I love those types of traditions, and I think that's like a really cool way of kind of ingraining the legacy, especially now that we're celebrating like the 150 and all of that other stuff. Like they've been a lot of that. So yeah, I think by and all, that's why I'm one of them, so I'm gonna give us an A.
Hey, you go for it. Be as biased or unbiased, I'll say unbiased, as you want to be. And like I said, I don't really know much negative about the fan base, and I don't really hear obviously, because everybody's been very appreciative of Unai and where he's gotten the club, and he seems to really like it there. And
they've also done a 180. And I'm really happy about this because back when Steven Gerrard was the coach, Tyrone Mings was not playing at his best. Yeah, remember that? Tyrone Mings was not playing at his best. And I have like distinct memories of like those games and seeing like Tyrone Mings just like he wasn't himself, obviously, like he was not playing his best. And all I remember is like hearing the Villa fans go, "Oh, he's shit, Tyrone Mings. Oh, he's shit." And I'm like, oh my God, like no one will hate the team more than like the fans of the team hate the team. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like he's obviously become much better at defending. He's like another club cornerstone that got them out of the secondary league and brought them back up out of the championship. And like we're back to singing, he's there, he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where, he's Tyrone Mings. You know what I mean? So it's all in good fun, and I'm happy that that change of heart has happened.
Yeah, and honestly, I very much enjoy a Brummy accent. I know some people
Yeah,
don't. Some
yeah.
people don't. They get a kind of like a hard. But yeah, no, I very much enjoy the Brummy
There
accent.
is no, like, I went to those games and I met all of those Villa fans. And when I tell you that there is no way you can sing those chants in that group of people without a Brummy accent, like when you're in that moment, like everyone turns and like everyone has a Brummy accent. Like
Yeah.
I have not an ounce of that like in me. And I'm just like, come on, Villa. Like this is like crazy. It's so fucking stupid, man.
I love it. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, uh, so actually, how I really got into talking Man City, I used to do like a news podcast with two other black dudes, and we would kind of just talk about. We start locally and then kind of get bigger to regional and nation and world and stuff. But I had a segment called Speaking Soccer where I would try to talk in a Manchester accent as long as possible. And sometimes I would do really good and I'd be able to hold it for like minutes. And then there'd be times where 3 seconds in, I sound like
disaster.
Jamaican or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
You somehow go all the way into a
Yeah.
patois.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I'm sorry. My control is,
I
I'm just
can't.
here to have fun. And yeah, that just doing that over and over and longer and longer. And once I stopped doing that news podcast, I was like, no, I enjoyed the community aspect of podcasting. What can I do that will keep me like tapped in and brings me joy? And so that's where
Yeah.
growing this, and I
Yeah.
never would have guessed would be able to connect with so many most dope people like everybody in the GC and including you and
Yeah.
just all the other people that we've been able to befriend and
Yeah.
like all the games that I've gone to. Yeah, it's just it's crazy. I love the sport. It's community. I grew up playing rugby, so like I completely understood the whole like partying aspect and the kind of the community and the banter, talking smack and things like that. So the transition to soccer culture was a relatively easy one.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think like we're very, I mean, I feel very lucky. Like I've said before, I think the last time I was on, it's just like having so many different, like obviously opinions and everything, but just like being able to bring in different people who know things about a team that you don't know anything about. For
Yes,
example,
I
like
love
obviously you still know a lot about Villa, like not to say that you don't, but
it.
like, you know, you're bringing in people who kind of can give you a different flavor of it and be like, hey, you know, like I saw like Tyrone Mings play last year before he like did in his ACL or whatever, and like it was magical, and then he got hurt, and like here we are. You know what I mean? Like it's very it can be very cool. And like you said, like I feel very lucky to know so many people and to kind of be able to pick people's brains and obviously talk a lot of smack in the midst of it. Hey
That's the
Devin,
best part.
like
Yeah, talking smack with people that you like and respect, so like you can know that it's just that it's just
yeah,
bands talking shit. I love it.
it's never deep. It's never that deep.
No, definitely not. All right, well, final topic: the front office, the decision makers. Uh, what are your thoughts on their actions? How did they do last season, and what grade would you give them?
Yeah, we kind of touched on this a little bit when I was talking about kind of the trust that the higher ups and the powers that be that actually, you know, open their coffers for for Unai Emery to make his moves. They've been very supportive of his moves. I think since, you know, they saw, hey, like this man can get us to the Euros. Like, you know, maybe we should give him what he wants. And I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty much how it should be. You know, he got us finishing top six. You know, it's a lot to be proud of considering where we were with Gerard, like all the way down in like the boondocks where Man United is currently like housed. So like there's a lot that I like about what the front office specifically at Villa has been doing. I also mentioned like they took the partnership with Adidas. They actually did a really cool like redesign of like some murals and everything outside of Villa Park that are like Adidas sponsored, I believe. They're taking time to like really celebrate the club's history. They released a 150th like anniversary like shirt that they wore for like their like 150th like whatever like their match that like was dedicated to that whole thing. And so like they're doing all the right things, and I think they've also invested a lot of really good money into the club in the last like couple of years alone. And I think they realize now that there's a lot of potential to, you know, cracking the big six. Like, you know, we joke all the time. We're like, yeah, Villa's massive, and like whatever. And people are like, are you sure? And I'm like, well, we have an amazing coach. We have a really nice roster that's only going to get better. We're getting new facilities, like they're revamping Villa Park. They're adding like more seats. They redid like the team store, where they have like a bunch of like shirts from different eras of Villa that like they're displaying. Like, you know, they're doing a lot to kind of bridge the gap between like people who have been a fan of the Villa for a while to like the new generation of people. You know, like they fucking got Ozzy Osbourne for like the ads before last season started. You know what I mean? Like the man is a Villa fan, and
That's
like
fair.
then they have him doing his like farewell tour at Villa Park too. Like that's a stop on his tour. So like they're really trying to like, it feels like they're tapping more into like the pop culture and really trying to
Mhm.
be like a relevant uh presence in the EPL. And so, you know, I think for them, I'll give like for all of that, like obviously there are things that they aren't doing well. Like, you know, there's definitely always room for improvement, but I think they can get a solid A for this year alone. They've done some really good decisions. I think they're bringing in people that are great. They're understanding that some people have to also transition out of the club. But I think overall we have a solid foundation, and I think the investment is in the right spot comparatively to, you know, I'm not going to even speak for like other clubs or anything, but like comparatively to where we've been, like the investment has been there and it's starting to really show. So, yeah, we also just got like a cool fucking lion statue like that was installed too for like the anniversary and everything. Like there's just like really cool like stuff happening around in Birmingham for Villa. So it's very exciting. I'm excited about it and I can't wait to go visit. So I'll give them an A.
And
We'll see.
and I've heard that a lot of money, at least the in the center of Birmingham, has it's really growing, and it's a very beautiful area. So it's good to see that they're the ownership or the front office, at least they see what is going on. They, like you said, they're trying to establish themselves as a relevant club
Yeah.
that is tapped into the culture, and that's really what you have to do nowadays. Like, be good on off and on the pitch. Like,
Right.
is your gear nice? Like, how cool are the players? What
Yeah.
are you doing for the city? Like, it's kind of a full time thing, and
Yeah.
that's why clubs like United are really struggling, because what they're really hurting the everyday person, which is how you kind of will hold on to it. And even City, as an example, they uh, it was like a 43% decrease in their ticket prices, and
Yeah.
that was after lots of meetings with a lot of the supporter groups and supporter unions,
Mhm.
listening to the people, because you're going to be able to make up that money somewhere. So it's like,
Yeah.
where do you spend knowing that it's going to come back somewhere else?
Yeah, and like the socials and like the people, your fans are like the biggest litmus test. Like they will be the first to tell you like, "Hey, the vibes are wrong right now." You know what I mean? Like they see it like, and by that point where they're seeing it, I'm pretty sure the players have already like seen it and are going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like once it trickles to the point where the fans know that something's up, then it's already a problem. And so like if we're using Man U as like the example there, like obviously it's, you know, there's been a change of guard and everything. Like Amarim is probably also on his way out. It seems like he's lost a lot of good faith with the fandom. And like, you know, it's also very evident that he has very specific opinions over different players. Like he iced out Rashford, you know what I mean? Like, and that to me is something that like unless it's like a real like problem in the locker room that all of the players are agreeing on for one person, like you should never have to do that. Like you could see how that man killed Marcus Rashford's love of the game while he was
Oh,
at
that's
the
better. Yeah.
and so like when you have a front office that like sees that and says like, oh yeah, we got Steven Gerrard and we know that that wasn't the best thing, letting him take Philippe Coutinho and thinking that he can, you know, run rampant in Villa when he like has glass bones, you know what I mean? Like, and so they're like, okay, we acknowledge that we fucked up. Here is our honest ditch effort to bring in someone who is like connected and also who knows what the hell they're talking about. And so like there entered Unai Emery, and like it's very obvious that like those higher decisions have impacted the club on like every single level going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a club that cares about their legacy. It's a club that wants to stick around. You know, they've been around since the 1800s, and hopefully we're going to stick around for the foreseeable future in the Premier League, like at the, you know, competing at the highest level. So it's exciting times, honestly. You know, PSG brought us down, but that's, you know, we continue the climb next season and we see where we end up for hopefully finishing in the Champions League again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I am a big Aston Villa, the Newcastles, the Brightons, the Brentfords. I want all add up all these teams because first off, you're supposed to have the belief in your own club. So like you guys, your success, I don't think will really get in the way of our success. But it's also the more of those teams that are up there. That means we won't see the Tottenhams, we won't see the United, we won't see the Chelsea, we won't see the Arsenals, you know?
There's also like a natural ebb and flow to like the status of these teams and like the evolution or the de-evolution of the squads when like something like age comes into the factor, you know what I mean? And so like Villa has been on the steady up and up for the last couple of years. Hopefully, you know, we're not done with that climb, but like, you know, then you have this team Villa that goes up against Arsenal, Devon, and at every time they face Arsenal, Devon, Arsenal decides to shit the bed. And so I'm really happy that we can do those things and kind of become those like Goliath killers. And, you know, just make a lot of people angry. Like it feels like it's, you know, like it's fun when you shake things up. And, you know, when you have a club like Man U that's down in the dregs and clubs like, you know, Chelsea, like Tottenham and everything that aren't doing as hot as they could be, like you have instances where someone like Nottingham Forest can come up and be like, you know what, we're going to kick ass for like a solid 10 games and we're going to make people really scared. And like, you know, that happened. Like, you know, Arsenal is a dynasty, like Man City, you know, as much as it pains me to say dynasty. We were just talking about Big King Kev getting to Napoli, which is also my Italian team. So I'm very excited for that, and you know, thank you for that. But like, you know, we love learning about other teams and seeing how they like develop. And like, I joined the fandom around like 2019, 2020 when my friend got me into the Villa, and like here we are. So you know, we have the world's number one until the next World Cup. Like, you know, it's a big club, and I want people to know that like at the end of the day, like regardless of what happens and like who finishes first and like what, like Liverpool winning, great, love that for them. But like Villa has competed at the highest level and won before, and you know, hopefully this means we're going to do it again soon.
Yeah, let's go.
Because how many Euros does Arsenal have? I'll wait. Devin, you want to chime in? We sing a song about it. So that's that. Anyways, yeah, all of that to say, it's going to be an exciting off season, and I'm really psyched to see where things go. And hopefully, even if we don't keep Rashford, hopefully we can get people like Asensio in permanently. We can make some good money moves, get ourselves under the radar, and come out swinging again next season. That's really all I can hope for.
Let's go. Well, truly, thank you for your time. This was a wonderful conversation. I feel like I know Aston Villa so much better now. Please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yeah. Well, if you're at any Red Bulls or Gotham games, you can always find me either next to the perch or on the perch screaming. I am a member I'm on the board for Empire Supporters Club, and I am a TIFO and Capo cryptid for Cloud9, the Gotham Supporters Group. Shout out to my Cloud9 peeps. But otherwise, you can find me on socials. I am at Natalie B. Lazo on Instagram, Twitter, and on Blue Sky. I believe I am Natty_Blaze. So come say hi. I have a website, natalieblazo.com, with all my professional stuff because graphic design is my passion. And yeah, otherwise, if you see me in person, come say hi. If you find me online, come say hi. Tell them that Crunk sent you, and I will know exactly where you came from.
Let's go. Well, everyone, this was a wonderful conversation. We have a show for every day for the rest of the week. And then on Friday, we have 2 to end out. So come through. We'll see you. Yeah, Villa Women are tomorrow. Yep.
Oh, nice. Love that. When is West Ham on? Because I know Phil is going to be on for that.
Phil is Thursday.
Okay. They took our color palette, but Phil's still a good guy. So they did. They stole our color palette.
No, they did. No, they did. No, very much. I used to confuse me very much when I first got into football. I was like, wait, West Ham, different. Okay,
right. The original.
Oh, I love it. Shots fired. Okay, well, until the next time, everybody, you know the vibes. Shady gang.
You're very correct, Devin. That I will give you credit for. Yeah, thank you for having me as always, Crunk. I appreciate it.
Of course. Man.
Peace.
You know the vibe. Shady gang. Okay.